Hey guys, we are with a local legend, Johnny Golf Cart today. We're gonna put 4 lithium iron phosphate batteries inside a golf cart, look at the advantages and disadvantages of doing so. We may call him Silent John because we're probably not gonna get him to talk much, but we're gonna walk you through everything that you can do and what you're gonna get for mileage, what you're gonna get for speed, benefits, cons. Stay tuned. This is what a newer model Club Car Precedent looks like with 6 8-volt batteries inside of it. These are all lead acid, so there is going to be maintenance to them. You have to keep them full of water. You're going to have to charge them every once in a while, but you have to worry about keeping them fully charged?
No, these can sit for a few days, for a week. You don't have to keep them fully charged.
And then beyond that, you're going to have a life cycle here between 5 and 6 years. There's some weight in these lead acid batteries, and we're going to go through the weight difference later. Let's look at how we converted this style over to a 4 battery system. And this is what it looks like when we have 4 of the 100 amp hour lithium iron phosphate batteries installed. Again, you can get these brackets off of Amazon. Very easy to come across. I'll put a link in the description. Simple to put together, and it gives you a lot of room. So if you did want to run a aftermarket charger, you could pop it in right here and you have all kinds of room and space to do so, or you can put a flash onto the charger that comes with these and use that to charge these lithium iron phosphate batteries. So from here, we're going to skip over and look at the weight savings that you have. Here are the 4 Dr. Prepar batteries that are in that cart. They are all 100 amp hour each. 23.3 pounds, and we'll compare that to a lead acid battery that is typically in these 60.6 for a typical lead acid 8-volt. Now you have to multiply that by 6 rather than 4. So my ugly math here is about 61 times 6 gets us 364 pounds. 23.2 times 4 is approximately 93 pounds. So we have a 271 pound weight savings going with the lithium iron phosphate batteries. All right, here we go. I'm in the lithium cart. Johnny Golf Cart's in the lead acid cart. We're going to rock this out, see who's the winner. Pure acceleration test. That's it. We're not going for long distance or top speed. Count us down.
3, 2, 1, go.
So we know there's a weight savings. We know there's an acceleration difference. We know that the cost isn't that much more than good lead acid batteries. But distance, how far does this 400 amp hour batteries take us? What'd you do?
So this is a 3.5 inch lift with 20 inch tires, and I drove this cart 54.6 miles until it died.
How many miles?
We made it 53.4 miles.
53.4. Only to be rescued.
We are getting rescued by another club car. Full charge, which is substantially more than I've ever went on a lead acid cart. Granted, I have never found the bottom of lead acid batteries, but I've only went like 25 miles and they were so slow that I feared I wouldn't get home.
That's a significant distance. I mean, for the average guy, when you look at who's going to sit in the golf cart for 54 miles, and I know we were texting while you're going through it. I mean, it was a long 2 days for you in a golf cart.
At 16 miles an hour, which is what this cart went. It was, do the math, over 4 hours of riding around our golf cart drinking coffee.
And that's pretty cool though, because then we can hook up the charger, recharge this up, and there were some few modifications that you did put in this, which made sense. So he turned around and put a voltmeter in here, and we found that what the top of it was, and we also found that the bottom is right around 11 to 11.3 volts per battery. So you can kind of look at your voltmeter now and say, oh, I'm close to being down, where the BMS turns these batteries off.
Correct. It's familiar, or it's close to what your lithium ion tools are. Or if you remember back in the day with NiCad stuff, they would slowly get slower and then die. This is like your new Milwaukee or whatever tool that just shuts off. You don't get much warning. You don't get much, lag and just
so the speed and the acceleration stays good, and then all of a sudden you're at that bottom 20% and you get very little notice and she's gone.
Just shuts off. Yeah.
So if there's a downside to it, there is one that you could be feeling that your batteries are fully charged, but then boom, done. That's where that voltmeter comes into play. Solid to have one of those if you switch over. So if you have the Eric Smart Charger for your club car, there is a way for you to get the algorithm in for the lithium iron phosphate batteries. What do you have to do?
I emailed Delta Q Technologies, that's who makes this charger for club car, and they emailed me a file that I was able to load onto a thumb drive, and there's a small procedure on how to do it, and then you just stick it in the slot here, and it will program the new algorithm into this charger.
Then you can still use this as normal, or you can go out and buy an aftermarket charger, your choice. So if we're looking at cost for something like this, for these batteries, it's going to be $350-ish. So you're going to be somewhere in the $1,450 range for 4 of them. If you're on Amazon looking at Trojan batteries, you're going to be in the $1,600 range, but locally you might be able to get them closer to $1,000. Street price is going to vary depending on where you're at. So cost for these isn't too bad. So if you go this way, the pros are all over the board. You got great mileage, less weight. We've talked about all that. The cons are going to be, you're not going to want to leave your lithium iron phosphate batteries 100% charged for long periods of time.
Correct. I think they say to keep them at around 80%.
So just like a electric car, if you own an electric vehicle, you're going to want to charge them, normally every day, somewhere between 50 and 80%. But realistically, you don't have to go by that. You can charge them up to 100, let them sit for a couple days. Just don't leave them there.
Yeah. One of the big things I really like about these is that there's no maintenance. On a lead acid battery, every month or every 6 to 8 weeks, depending on how much you charge them, you have to check the water level, and then you have to add distilled water, and then sometimes people overfill them and then they leak onto your floor and they rot away the concrete in your garage, and just maintenance, messy maintenance.
And the fire hazard for a lithium iron phosphate battery is very low. I mean, we always talk about thermal events and how you can be scared of them when you first get them, but the reality is these batteries are very safe as long as you're used within their specs. So make sure you're using the right charger, the right algorithm, make sure that you're storing them properly. And if it does get cold, below freezing, they're not going to take a charge real well there, and you can actually do damage charging them below their temperature. So read the little pamphlet that comes with it. It'll take you, 10 seconds to read.
Exactly.
And it'll give you all the ins and outs. So there's a lot of good. There's a little bit to know about them. As with any technology, you're kind of going to have to follow the rules with it, but it can be a big positive for you. Leave us your comments below. Let us know, is this something that you do? If not, cool, we understand. Stick with the old stuff. Sometimes technology gets in the way. If you like it, let us know about that too. As always, we appreciate your time. Have a great day.
Thanks, guys.